Shalom, Kol Halal Yahweh Bashem Shai, the bonds to the apostles and elders of the great millstone were well, and salutations to the brethren on the four corners of the earth, pushing His word in truth and in sincerity. And I also wanted to say my piece on a quick topic that I was meditating on, which is basically, I'm going to call it suffering curses with dignity. Um, being in the truth, you have to learn to deal with affliction. You have to learn to deal with a lot of adversity. A lot of situations that you wouldn't otherwise deal with. But you have to take that experience and realize that all of this is happening to me for the better. Your afflictions, what you're going through, um, you know, not having a job, having to do things that, you know, that you're forced to do, that that you see later down the line, down the road is for, for the greater good, your spirit, and for your salvation. And suffering is a big part of the truth, man. Just because you come to truth doesn't mean everything's gonna be all hunky dory. Doesn't mean everything's gonna be, you know, gonna be lights, camera, and flashing lights and peaches and cream. You know, and a lot of guys that's fallen out, or a lot of guys that have fallen out, they haven't done things like the scriptures say, like counting the cost. They haven't done things like actually paying attention and actually examining themselves and seeing if they have, what it takes to continue. Seeing, cutting off that old leaven. Uh, you know, getting rid of that old man, so to speak. And not constantly examining themselves, and trying to, assess whether they are actually doing that or not. Cutting off their ties and their connection to the world and things like that. Which is nothing wrong with, having a few friends in the world, or as long as you're using them for, as long as you're, supplanting them, and even if you do have a few friends in the world, none, you shouldn't let that sway you from your path. It's true. So I just wanted to speak on a couple of things. So this is I'll just jump right into it. This is Luke 14:28. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether you have sufficient to finish it? You know, and that's wise, man. When you go to do something, you always have to assess yourself. Like, do I have enough money? Do I have enough time? Do I have enough, endurance? Do I have, like, can I actually do this? You know, is there anything getting in my way? Is there anything that I have to cut off? So that's being a wise man assessing the situation. You know, verse 29, lest happily after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it began to mock him. Why? Because he started something that he knows he can't finish. Just like guys that are falling off the truth, man. They basically started something that they knew they couldn't finish, or they started something that they didn't care to make the necessary adjustments so they could finish it. Saying this man began to build and was not able to finish. So he was being mocked. And that's what happens when guys fall off the truth. You get mocked. Because you start going off in the doctrine. You start doing stupid, crazy stuff. You start saying crazy stuff. And and through this, through the time that you spent in the truth and the time that you're spending outside of the truth, brothers starting to see like damn, he really didn't have what it takes. Did he even care to make certain adjustments? And you find out no, he didn't. Or what king goeth to make war against another king, sitteth down first, and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000? And that's another thing too, man. We're at war, and we're going to war against Esau, against Satan, you know. So we're the warriors in this war, and we have to assess whether we can finish this war, you know. Like, damn, okay, we got 144,000, we got the 1/3 elect, like, is my spirit in the right place to continue fighting this war, you know, or else while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an ambassage and desireth conditions of peace. So you're gonna wait till the war is almost at your doorstep to send somebody. Oh no, I want peace, man. I don't want to mess with you because I ain't ready. No, it's too late now. You know, just like temptation and the truth, man. You don't pay attention to Satan. You think you the man. You think you got it. Then when Satan comes knocking at your door, Oh no, man, I ain't ready. I ain't ready, man. I ain't ready for this test. Nah, you gonna take this test today. You know, you gonna get tested today. But the point is, you never make if you're not never making yourself ready to the battle, you're always going to be caught in a situation where you're off guard, man. And that's those are the situations that Satan takes advantage of. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. You know, so you have to forsake all that you have, man. That's called counting the cost. You know, looking at what you have to sacrifice and actually sacrificing it. Why? For the greater good, man. And that's part of suffering in the truth. We all got stuff to let go that we let go of that we don't want to or didn't want to. But you got to make sacrifices for the truth, man. Whether that's letting go of, your woman, your children, your cousins, your best friend in the world, your connections, your favorite hobby, which is probably making beats or or watching too much sports or whatever have you, man. If it's distracting you from what needs to be done, like preparing for war, you have to cut that off, man. You know, the scriptures say, if your eye offends you, pluck it out. And it's not only that. It's making sure you have the strength to continue. Make sure you have the strength to go outside, to put up these videos, to do live shows, to study. To make sure you're putting your all into what needs to be done to secure your salvation, man. You know. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 10. According to the grace of the Most High, which is given unto me as a wise master builder, right? So now you're a wise master builder, So it's continuing to build that building, or counting the cost. So now you counted the costs, making sure you have sufficient enough to finish it. Now, now you're laying that foundation, on top of another foundation, which is Yahweh Shai's. So now you're building yourself up. You're building up your spirit. I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon, right? But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon, right? For other foundation can no man lay that is laid, which is Yahweh Shai, right? Now if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, and stubble, which the gold and silver would be, the precious metals, and the stones and precious stones, and you got wood, hay, and stubble, which the wood, hay, and stubble would be the guys that fell out the truth, man, the guys that didn't make it, the guys that started to build on the foundation, but they built wood, They were building straw houses, They were taking spare parts and spare metal from the stubble that was burned down, and they were trying to rebuild out of that. Which it didn't is not gonna work, Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, right? Because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is, And speaking of it may be, revealed by fire, scriptures say that the chosen elect shall be tried in the fire, So when they're tried in the fire, they're either going to come out as gold or silver, because those impurities are going to be washed from them. And that's what this affliction is about, That's what this trial on earth is about, washing this affliction from you, But you got stubble, hay, wood, stones, which burn up in fire, Burn up in fire like with the quickness. So you have to be careful what you building on top of Yahushua's foundation. You gotta assess yourself. Like, hey, is this right? Is this wood? Because does this look sturdy enough? Because I'm worried about this shit falling over. You have to. That's what you have to worry about, yourself falling over in this truth. It says every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. If any man's work abide which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. Which that reward is the kingdom of heaven, man. If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? So yeah, if any man's work shall be burned, so you got guys that you bring into the truth as well, If they get burned, hey, you suffer loss, like, damn, I lost a brother, you know what I'm saying? But you shall be saved. But yet so as by fire. So that's a part of a trial too. Seeing brothers fall out the truth that you brought into the, you've helped us, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, or he's giving you the spirit to touch that person, you know. With that, that's suffering. Just like, any other suffering, man. Losing your job, losing your house, losing your woman, losing your kids, uh, losing your car, having to fix your car all the damn time, You just gotta pay bill after bill after bill. Um, hell, uh, you're behind on your bills, you're behind on your rent, you know, things like that. That those are part of our sufferings. For as the suffering, 2 Corinthians 1:5, for as the sufferings of Yahushua abound in us, so our consolation also aboundeth by Yahushua. So Yahushua is testing us with those sufferings, man. But our consolation is by this also. And whether we be afflicted, it is for Shalakia. Whether we be afflicted, it is for your consolation and salvation. All right, so this is necessary for you to reach salvation, man. You're only going to reach salvation by suffering. Like Scripture saying in Hebrews, I think, chapter 6, where it says, I'm sorry, chapter 2, verse 9, if I believe right. It says, it shall make, our suffering shall make the captain of salvation perfect by suffering, which is effectual in the enduring of the same sufferings which we also suffer. So brothers aren't the only ones going through anything. Or whether we be comforted, it is for your consolation and salvation. And our hope of you is steadfast, knowing that ye are partakers of the sufferings, so shall ye be also of the consolation. Why? Because Yahushua suffered, and he became, the right hand of the Most High, man. That's why. So, if we suffer, by Yahushua, how much more us? Because the scriptures say we're joint heirs with Yahushua, man. When you read Romans 8:16, 8:17, it tells you that the what we're going through now doesn't even compare to our reward, man, which is the kingdom of heaven. So this is a very tedious thing that we have to go through, being in the truth, man. So it's not a walk in the park. It's a straight line. It's a straight path that we have to walk. It's like walking on a tightrope. But we have to get to that other side, no matter what. No matter who comes against us, no matter what your vices are in the world, as far as being, being a man, we have to get past all that. Because the kingdom of heaven is already built, man. We just have to get there. And that's what's on the other side of that tightrope. This is 2 Ezra chapter 7, verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance, that's the kingdom of heaven, man. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place. And that dangerous place is this planet Earth, man. This first heaven. A dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. Destruction and philosophies, which is other. The fire represents destruction, and the deep water represents the philosophies of the world, which is also death. Because you drown. So either way you fall, you're falling to your death. And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, which is the truth, man. So small that there could be one man go there at once. So you have to go there one man at a time, man. And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, right? Which the inheritance of the Israelites is the kingdom of heaven. If he never shall pass a danger set before it, how shall he receive his inheritance? Just like 2 Corinthians said, that we receive our consolation. For as the sufferings of Yahushua abound in us, so our consolation also aboundeth by Yahushua. So we have to receive, what do you say? We have to receive adversity, in order for it to make us stronger, so we can receive this. Just like when you're in grade school, man, when you're a kid, you wanted that new bike, right? Or you wanted that PlayStation, right? What did you have to do to get it? You had to work your ass off, man. You had to hopefully your parents told you, they told you had to get good grades in school. You had to get straight A's. So what you have to do, you had to slave over your schoolwork, because you wanted that PlayStation so bad. That's how you have to be about the kingdom of heaven, man. You have to slave over this work because you want the kingdom so bad. You know, walking past that store every day. Man, that PlayStation looks good. Man, they got some fun games coming out I would love to play. You know, just going into GameStop every day, like, man, I'm gonna have that one day. You know, that's how it is with us reading the scriptures, man. Reading the scriptures, damn. I'm gonna be in the kingdom of heaven one day. Like I'm gonna be able to to experience this one day. You got to do what you got to do to get there. You know. So if it means going through a lot of bullshit on earth, that's what's gonna happen. You know, and that's the price we gotta pay. And even if it includes losing our lives, man. It's Ephesians chapter 4, verse 1. I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called. You know. So what's that? That's basically keeping yourself keeping yourself on a thin leash. You know, suffering these curses, and when I say with dignity or with integrity, that means knowing that you're under the curses and bearing that burden, and still being able to do the work of the Lord, man. You know, yeah, everybody, Haggai 1:6 says we'll work, we'll sow much, but we'll reap little, man. So we gonna work a lot and bring in little to nothing, you know. Hell, I work 7 days a week and I don't bring nothing home. It all goes to bills, us other miscellaneous shit that I gotta pay. Gotta fix my car every 5 seconds, You probably got food, you gotta buy food. There's no money left for yourself. By the time, that let's say you get paid on Friday, by the time that Tuesday going around, you broke. Gotta pay your phone bill. If you go to the gym, you gotta pay your gym bill, you know. With all lowliness and meekness, you know. All lowliness and meekness, man, meaning humility, you know. Because it's a simple fact that the Lord didn't have to give you this truth, man. The Lord didn't have to choose you to receive the truth. He could have left you just another no-name nigga in the world, man. But instead, he decided to have mercy on you and give you the truth. So, Lord willing, your name could be written. Or Lord willing, your name is written in the book of life, With long suffering. With long suffering, man. So meaning we have to suffer. This truth is about suffering, as Apostle Gabar always says, man. We have to suffer long. However long we're here, man. Hell, the apostles been suffering decades, man. How much else? You know? Yeah, Osai suffered his entire life. The disciples, Paul, they suffered too. Waiting for, certain miracles to happen, you know? We're waiting for this place to be destroyed, so we have to suffer however long we got to be here, man. For bearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. So that's brotherly love as well, man. This is one body and one Spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. One Lord, one faith, and one baptism. One power and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of Yahushua. So we're given that grace. This is our grace period, our mercy period, man. So what are you gonna do with it? What are you gonna do with it? And and just a little example, hell, with their mercy periods, we had great men that took their mercy periods, man, and did a lot with it, man. That actually decided to have faith in the Lord and did what they were supposed to do, and they were delivered. It's Hebrews 11:1, and they were only delivered by faith. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, for by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. Yeah, things that were seen were made of things that don't appear, like the angels, man. By faith Abel offered unto God, the Most High, a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, the Most High testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. And that's what we have to do, have faith, man. That's the only way we're going to suffer these things and get through. That's what's going to make us that fine goal is the faith. That's what's going to make us continue and do the work, the faith. By faith by faith Enoch, verse 5, was translated that he could not see death, and was not found, because the Most High had translated him. For before his translation, he had his testimony that he pleased the Most High. So he was taken up in the chariot, man, because of his faith. He finished his course on earth successfully. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. You know? So you have to be diligent, man. So you have to slave, man. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. You know? So with that, that's all I had to say on the subject. Just speaking my mind, something I was meditating on. So with that, I want to give all praises. Call halal, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone rule well. Salutations to the brethren that are pushing this word and truth and its sincerity on the planet Earth, man, all around the planet Earth. Shalom.